Like I said, the Xanax are making me black out. I mean, I don't remember towards the end of the night.
I get the Xanax part of it. I get it. But I also know you think you got a dead body in the trunk.
This is Charles Danny Massey, a dopehead who just so happened to be an accomplice in one of the most gruesome crimes in Florida. Right now, Charles is in for a sweet surprise because he has absolutely no idea that the detective has first-hand information from a witness.
And you know, Antoinette's also described you as being the one that primarily stomps and does all that stuff to Scott.
Watch as detectives break Charles little by little until he gives in to pressure and finally spills the beans.
You still help load a body that you think is dead. You still set a car on fire with a body in the trunk.
At around 5 a.m. on June 14, 2013, an unidentified passerby alerted the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office to a burning Cadillac Fleetwood on a dirt logging road in the Flagler Estates area. Upon inspection of the vehicle, detectives found what appeared to be charred human remains in the form of teeth and bones, which would later be identified as the remains of 54-year-old Edward Scott Mulliner. For the most part, he had led a very peaceful and problem-free life until he fell for the charms of 35-year-old Antoinette Hart and became entrapped in a deadly love triangle. A day before his body was found on June 13th, Antoinette's then-boyfriend, 24-year-old Justin Boyles, showed up to her home furious after she called him for help during a heated argument with Scott. Justin, who had previously threatened and warned Scott to stay away, decided to teach him a lesson by beating him to a pulp. Boyles would immediately then rush out of the scene only to return minutes later with his roommate, 34-year-old Charles Danny Massey, and his girlfriend, Cheryl Leggett. With the help of Charles, Boyles stuffs an unconscious Scott in the trunk of his Cadillac and drives to a deserted area where the car is set ablaze. Following the discovery of Scott's body, Antoinette spills everything to detectives, including the fact that the last people to see Scott alive were Justin and Charles. The following footage was obtained from the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office.
How long has JB been living with you?
It's a couple weeks.
Couple weeks now? Couple weeks being 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks?
About 3.
About 3 weeks? Okay. And today's, what is today, Tuesday? Yeah, I think it's Tuesday, June 18th. So was he living with you anytime in May?
Yeah.
If it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah, last week in May. Yeah.
Last week in May?
Yeah.
Okay. How is he as a roommate?
It was bad, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old is he?
20s, late 20s, I believe. Late 20s.
Trying to see something here. He was born in 88. And you were born in what?
75.
75. You're 13 years older than him. But yet, when I talked with you on, I think it was Friday, we were out there, you called him your brother.
Yeah.
Is he related by blood, or?
No, we just known each other for a while. We used to be roommates about a year ago.
Okay.
We were roommates for a couple of years, and then I hooked up with my old lady, and we went our separate ways.
Okay. So, how long is he, how long have you known him?
Shit, probably about 2 years, 3 years.
2, 3 years? How'd you guys meet?
Just walking around the neighborhood. He used to rent that, you know, where I met you at my house?
Mm-hmm.
Well, right across the street, he used to rent that out. And I know everybody in the neighborhood, so I used to go there a lot.
Well, Hammock's sort of a small.
Yeah, you pretty much know everybody.
Everybody knows everybody's business,
yeah,
too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What kind of stories do you think we're getting out of the Hammock right now?
Stories?
Yeah.
I've heard a couple, man.
What have you heard?
Shit, supposedly, I guess Scott Mulder's dead.
Okay.
Where his car was found, and they were blaming JB for it.
Okay.
And I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that,
Where are you hearing that from?
well, that's what Antoinette told me. I guess y'all picked her up the other day.
Well, we talked with her. But, you know, she was with you just an hour or so ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, what has Antoinette been saying over the last 3 days?
Nothing. No, we've just been hanging out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you guys out in the Mondex?
Just get away.
Okay. No reason?
No.
Have you guys ever done that before?
Yeah.
Just abandon the house and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I was working the other day. I'll be honest with you. My old lady came, and I guess y'all were flipping the house. And that's when she just grabbed the dogs and we headed out there.
Yeah.
Cause I don't like talking to cops. I mean, I don't have a bad record, but I've done a lot of county time.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah, just stupid shit. But,
Right. Like what?
Just mainly driving.
Charles's reference to officers flipping the house describes the moment homicide detectives visited the apartment he shared with JB to carry out a search of the property. During this search, detectives managed to recover several items, including firearms and ammunition, which were found hidden in their bedrooms. In Charles's case, this discovery came with immediate consequences because he was a convicted felon and prohibited from possessing firearms. As a result of this, Charles was arrested and taken into custody while the detectives continued to build their case to determine what really happened to Scott.
You obviously know what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. You know.
I mean, Scott, I had nothing against him, man. You know, I'll be straightforward, honest with you.
Okay.
I had nothing against the man. Him and I actually were friends. You know, we used to hang out. You know, 5, 6 years back. You know,
Why'd you guys stop hanging out?
Just went our separate ways.
Okay. But you guys both still lived in the hammock, right?
Yeah, we'd see each other at the store, say what's up. I mean, hell, he was my bunkmate, last couple months back. I think it was 6 months ago or something like that.
Right.
You know, in jail.
Okay. So, I mean, what happened between you two?
Nothing.
No? All right.
I mean, we'd say what's up at the store or passing, you know.
What was going on between him and Antoinette?
Him and Antoinette, they were seeing each other, kind of seeing each other. She had a couple boyfriends, you know. Quite a few, actually.
Right. And what was going on between him and JB?
Him and JB?
Yeah.
They didn't like each other, I'm sure of that. But
Why is that?
both sleeping with the same woman. You know.
Well, why doesn't JB not like anybody else in the hammock? Because I'm sure there's about 6 other people sleeping with Antoinette
Yeah,
too.
well, I'm sure he doesn't, you know what I mean?
Did you ever hit that?
Years ago.
Years ago? So why doesn't he have a beef with you?
That was years ago. That was, you know,
Okay.
I've known Antoine. I've known the whole family for years, you know.
When was the last time you hit it?
Ah, shit, man. It had to be about 7, 8 years ago, if not 10.
Okay.
It was quite a while.
Okay. Back when she was actually fairly attractive.
Yeah.
She's gone downhill a lot.
Yeah, she ain't bad looking now, you know.
Still?
Still.
Really?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm into
When was the last time you had your eyes checked?
Yeah, I'm into her sister, man. I'm into Cheryl, man. You know, that's my girl.
Okay.
You know.
Does Cheryl know that you hit that a couple years back?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Just want to make sure everything's out in the open.
Yeah.
You're not
Man, you gotta hit me up there with my lady, man.
You don't get hit in the head with a frying pan in the middle of the night one night. All right. So, I mean, what was the problem between JB and Scott? I mean, what was actually going on?
I couldn't tell you, man.
Come on, man. You live with the guy for
yeah, but I
for a
I
year?
don't get. No, he's only been a couple months.
Okay.
You know?
So he's been with you for a couple of
Not
months.
a couple months, a couple weeks. Sorry.
All right, a couple
A few
weeks.
weeks.
But I mean, you guys hang out and
Yeah, well, if we weren't working together, we'd hang out, you know, eat dinner, watch a little TV, or listen to music. You know, then he'd do his thing. Like I said, I do my thing with my lady.
Okay.
I wish I could help.
Charles is trying to use his past friendship with Scott to prove to the detective that there was never any bad blood between them, and thus no reason to hurt him. The detective, however, isn't falling for this and knows even the best of friends can turn on each other under certain circumstances.
If JB had a problem with somebody, okay, you calling him your brother because you've known him for a couple years now and all that, if he had a problem with somebody and he wanted to send a message to somebody, would you go along with him to send that message? No.
No. I wouldn't afford to lose my old lady.
If he wanted to just scare somebody, would you go along to scare him?
No.
If he said, hey man, I really fucked up, I need some help, would you help him out?
No. I wouldn't jeopardize losing my old lady. I mean, she's my world, you know what I mean?
I understand that.
Everyone knew Charles and JB were good friends, despite a 13-year gap between them. The two lived together, drank together, did all sorts of drugs together, and even hit the same girl. Their close relationship boils down to one simple fact. Charles was ready to ride to the moon in flip-flops for his buddy, and in this case, that meant helping him dispose of a body.
What were you guys burning in that burn pit out in the back?
Everything gets burnt up in there, man. You know, I cut a lot of trees down, man.
Who dug that pit?
Me?
You did?
Yeah.
Anybody help you?
Yeah, JB helped.
JB?
Yeah, we cut a bunch of brush down about a month or two ago. Yeah.
Where was that at? That you cut the brush
Coast.
down? Out in Palm Coast?
What was it now? That was in Flagler.
Why don't you just leave it on the curb, like
It
for
was too much.
the Wednesday pickup?
Nah, way too much, man. There was some huge trees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that wood too fresh to burn?
Nah, it was dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a kind of like a bay tree, you know,
Mhm.
but it was real tall. Yeah, they're dried out.
And when did you dig that pit?
It was a while ago, about a month ago, a month and a half, something like that.
Okay.
Contrary to what Charles is claiming, we'd come to find out that the pit in the backyard wasn't just for burning old stuff. Instead, it was used for a more sinister purpose. Detectives would later discover that what Charles is trying to downplay as a mere cleanup station is a spot that holds several pieces of evidence from the night of the horrific crime.
If JB hadn't come into your life the way he has, you probably wouldn't be sitting here right now, would you?
No? No?
If he didn't have to have that beef with Scott, I don't know what happened between the two of them.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Okay. All I know is Scott's missing. Nobody's seen Scott since Thursday night. Okay? And the Cadillac that Scott was known to drive around, even though he doesn't have a good license either, but he was known to drive it around, that's found up in St. Johns County, burned up.
Switched,
Okay? Burned up way down a logging road. And guess what's in the trunk? Burned up bones, human bones. Yeah, so I mean, you know, and there's no reason for Scott's vehicle to be all the way out there. He didn't drive it out there because he'd be around if he did. So, I mean, there's some questions that are out there that we need answers to. Maybe you can help me with those answers. I don't know.
I said, I don't pry in people's lives, man. Scott, it was just, you know, hey, how you doing, you know what I mean? And we didn't hang out, you know. So I couldn't tell you, man. He knew a lot of people too, you know. He's been around for a long time, you know.
And Scott didn't have problems with anybody else, though.
I wouldn't say that, you know.
Who did he have problems with?
He can get on your nerves.
Since Friday, we've been in the hammock, up and down the streets, talking. Okay? From the bridge, almost all the way up to Marineland, we've been talking to people. The only people that we've uncovered that Scott had problems with was JB, because he was screwing with Antoinette, and that's about it. And JB hangs with you, and JB hangs with Cheryl.
He's pretty much alone.
Like a drowning man clutching at a straw, Charles is really desperate to get the heat off his back. And what better way to do this than to present the detective with a new suspect? Charles is trying to frame Scott as a person who had many enemies, which is an indirect suggestion that someone else could be blamed for his disappearance.
I mean, if that is Scott, whose remains were in the trunk of that Cadillac, he didn't deserve that.
No.
Nobody deserves that.
No. I said he was.
Even my worst enemy, I wouldn't think of doing anything like that to.
No.
And that's a cold motherfucker to do something like that. Do you think JB's capable of doing something like that?
No.
Why not?
I just couldn't see him, man.
I
I
heard
could
that-
see him fighting on.
I heard that JB and Scott, you know, had some problems.
Yeah, I can see JB fighting or something like that, man.
Let me ask you this. JB brings that pistol into the house, that 38. And you saw that pistol, right? Okay. Scott didn't know JB had that pistol. We've got a report to the sheriff's office that on June 8th, Scott sees JB drive by in that red Jeep waving a pistol at him, making threats.
No, I I know nothing, dude.
JB's capable of doing something like that, though.
I guess so.
I mean, if Scott's gonna make something up,
Right.
okay,
Go
he doesn't know that
that.
JB's got that chrome pistol.
Right.
So how is he gonna say, oh, he's waving a chrome pistol at me? I mean, seriously,
That's true.
okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you don't pry, but JB's got to be bragging about, look, man, I'm Billy Badass. I'm scaring the shit out of this little pissant over here.
No, like I said, man, I don't get involved in that. You know, I'm dating Antoinette's sister.
I understand that.
So I'm not know nothing. Don't want to hear nothing. Don't involve me. Don't involve my old lady on y'all's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's easier that way. It's just easier. I love my old lady, man. You know, I want to marry her. That's the way we put it. We just leave everyone the hell alone.
After more than an hour of interrogation, Charles neither changes his story nor his posture. To an untrained eye, this might come off as relaxed and confident. But in the context of an interrogation with mounting pressure to confess, this kind of position suggests anxiety or a need for control to keep the truth from spilling. Charles remains adamant that he knows nothing, but with stacks of evidence and Antoinette's statement, he was eventually charged with first-degree homicide and kidnapping of Scott Mulliner. In February of 2014, Charles will join detectives yet again for another round of interrogation, which will be no different from the last. But this interrogation is about to expose some difficult truths about the entire ordeal.
All right, well, let's talk about the when you guys get to the woods, you park the car, what's going on there?
Well, Justin pulled over and stopped. I stopped the Cadillac. He turned around, went back. I thought we were just going to leave him there. Like I said, I didn't know about the gasoline or nothing like that. So I was actually wiping down the inside of the car, wiped my fingerprints off. And I went back to the Jeep. While I sat in the passenger side, I looked around. Justin was back by the car. I got out, started walking towards him. And he said, well, come on, come on, come on. You know, by that time, they struck the lighter and the car went up on flames.
Draw the vehicle positioning for me. I know it's a dirt road, but you guys come off that dirt road. Is how you remember the vehicles being parked and stuff like that?
Well, when we parked on the dirt road,
Right.
Justin was in front, Cadillac was here.
Let's put the Jeep in front of it too, please.
Well, he pulled over and then he turned around and he was facing back out.
Okay. Originally, you guys stopped like that.
Yes. And then he turned around, faced back out. This is the way we were facing.
Okay.
And then he parked way down here with the Jeep.
Okay.
And like I said, that's when by the time I wiped down the interior, he was coming back from the Cadillac, and he had a line of fire going from here, you know, halfway to the Cadillac. That's when I just turned around and jumped back in the Jeep. And then there was this amble-looking thing. He told me that he made sure he wasn't breathing. He wasn't going to feel it. You know.
And we mean amble looking
It
thing.
was a piece of metal. I tripped over it twice. Then when I was getting in and out of the Jeep, it was in the passenger side on a floorboard. It was an old anvil-looking piece of metal. And as I tripped over getting in the Jeep the last time, I looked down. I was like, what is it? 'Cause I don't remember it being there. And he said, don't worry, he was dead. He made sure he was dead. He wasn't going to feel it.
How did you see him use that to hit Scott with that?
No, I didn't see him hit him.
You see the trunk go up?
Yeah, he was back by the trunk, yes.
And you saw the trunk go up?
Yes, he was
With
back
Scott
by
standing at the trunk?
Scott wasn't standing.
I'm sorry, JB's at the...
JB was, yes.
Yeah, but the trunk's open, so JB opens that trunk for a reason.
Right.
But you don't see him use this big metal object to hit him?
No, it was about that big. No, I don't see him. By that time, I was in the Jeep. I went back to the Jeep.
Okay. Where does the metal thing go after that?
Well, once we got the flat, I tripped over it again getting out, and I just picked it up and threw it to the long side of the road. So I tripped over it twice, you know what I mean? I just threw it out the passenger door into the ditch.
So it's wherever you change that tire, that's where that metal object's going to be?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that real quick. So when Justin got back into the car, he put the metal object there?
by the time I got back to the Jeep, the metal object was in the floorboard because I tripped over it getting in. You know, I stepped on it, tripped over it getting in, and then when I went to get out, I seen Justin was still back by the car. That's when I went to get out. I tripped over it getting out. I remember tripping over it a couple times, and that's when I walked up to him. And he was like, "Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go." So then he struck it, and it went up, and that was.
All right, well, give us the details, because obviously he's not carrying the anvil metal thing and the gas can at the same time. So tell us, take us through that slowly, please.
Well, when I was wiping down inside of the car, he was in back and forth. You know, I wasn't really paying attention where he was. But by the time I got done doing that, I walked back to the Jeep itself. I looked back. He was standing by the car. And then I got out, and I said that's when I tripped over that piece of metal. I got out, started walking towards him, and he said, "Come on, let's go." And that's when he struck the ground with the lighter about halfway, and then the car went up.
Did he have the gas in his hand still then?
No, ma'am.
Did you see him use the gas can on the car?
No, ma'am.
Well, how do you know he used it?
Because I smelled it in the Jeep, and then the gas can was empty.
So you didn't see him use the metal thing, and you didn't see him use
I saw him use I saw him once he did grab the gas when I was coming up off of the car. When I was going into the passenger seat, he grabbed the gas can, started walking towards the car. Sorry.
And was that after he put the metal thing back in?
I couldn't tell you before or after.
Okay.
When
did you see the trunk open?
When I was walking past it. After I got done with the wiping down the steering wheel and everything, I walked past it, walked back to the Jeep. I glanced back, the trunk was open.
Okay, so maybe I'm just not understanding, but what you're saying is you were in the Cadillac wiping down when Justin opened the trunk and did whatever he did in the back.
Right.
How to get the trunk open?
Yeah, I gave him the keys.
All right, tell us about that. Was there a conversation about that?
No, there wasn't. He pulled up. He walked up to the car. He was there and put his hand out. I gave him the keys. I finished wiping down the steering wheel.
What were you wiping it with?
My shirt. And then by the time I got that done, I was walking back to the Jeep. Figured we were just gonna leave him there, but yeah, that's when he struck. I hopped in the Jeep, got back out. Went about halfway, he grabbed me and said, "Let's go." You know, that's when he struck the ground and trail fire hit.
Did you feel anything when you were in the trunk? I mean, when you were in the car wiping it down, did you feel the car moving up and down, like some indication that there was a big metal object hitting something?
No, ma'am. I didn't feel the car jerk or jump, or not to my knowledge, no.
Charles is trying to distance himself from the crime as much as possible by minimizing the role he played that night. But it is almost absurd to believe that someone would transport a man's body to the middle of nowhere without having an idea of what was going to happen next.
You aware of any threats that JB may have made to Scott?
All the time, yeah.
Give me some examples.
Well, he was always jealous. I mean, at first when Antoinette and JB first got together, it was more of a joke to JB because Antoinette was sharing the money and the pills and the drugs and whatever.
Right.
So JB didn't care. Towards the end, he started getting entirely jealous, didn't want her doing it no more. And then he'd always say, you know, I'd whoop his ass if I caught you two together. You know, he'd beat the shit out of him.
Did you ever hear him threaten to kill Scott, though? Did you ever say to Scott, "I'm going to kill you if you don't leave her alone," or anything like that?
No.
So you were never present when he did that?
No.
So when you say threats, the only threats you ever heard Justin make about Scott, or he made them to Antoinette, you never seen him threaten Scott personally?
Not face to face, no. I've never seen them actually two in the same room face to face, you know.
One thing is painfully clear from all this. Scott was only there to serve as a boy toy for Justin and Antoinette, and unfortunately, this led him to an untimely death.
There was a plan to leave Florida, or leave Flagler County in the area, wasn't there?
At that point in time, no.
Well, at some point there's a plan.
Yes.
Tell me about that. How do we reach the discussion? How does the discussion get to there?
We were out in the Mondex, and Rob said we were all talking outside one time. Justin and I was talking about going somewhere. You know, I was talking about going to see my mom for a few days out in Panama City, out there in the Panhandle. And then Rob came out and he said he knew if he wouldn't mind relocating down south, and he was coming into a bunch of money. Because I mean, he gets Roxy's and Oxys and Delados every month, so he comes into a chunk of money every month. So he was going to use that money, and he was like, well, us three guys will go down south, start out, and then we'll send for the girls. And he said there was a lot of work down there, and he had people down there, and so that would, you know what I mean, be the go for it, you know, go ahead, initial startup.
Right.
Or just to relocate. But yeah, we talked about it a couple times, but that was about it.
Any contact made with anybody on the south end to make it happen? Or was it just conversation?
Just conversation by that point.
Who makes plans to flee immediately after committing a crime other than someone trying to outrun the law? Even though he's trying so hard to sell the detectives on the fact that their fear of being caught wasn't connected to their relocation plans. They weren't buying it. But the irony in all of this is laughable. They never even made it past their neighborhood before getting caught.
I'm trying to remember.
Let me ask you this. After you and Justin were both arrested, there was some contact between you and Justin in the jail?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about that, what was said as it relates to this case.
Well, he shot me a kite, said that, you know, just keep it, we were shooting kites back and forth. And that's when I found out that Antoinette was trying to blame all this on me. And she shot him a kite, you know, what the hell, you know what I mean, what's going on? Because Cheryl told him about Chris wearing a wire, and she didn't want to tell me for some reason. And we were just communicating back and forth. And then he shot the last kite he shot me. He said, well, we didn't do nothing and stick to it. You know, so I flushed that, and that was the last time I talked to him, except for, you know, say what's up. That was it. We were just shooting the kites back and forth, just talking, you know, what's going on with him and me, because we both got the other charges, and, you know.
What do you think? Why do you think Antoinette is trying to pin it on you?
I couldn't tell you. I know I couldn't tell you.
She put some definitive involvement with you hitting Scott.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I couldn't tell you, man. I know her and I dated, you know, a couple of years back for a month or two, and I know they were highly jealous. Both of them were highly jealous of Cheryl and I's relationship. But other than that, I mean,
I think the statement was that everything was fine until you showed up, and you made matters worse.
maybe Justin was trying to prove something to me. I don't know.
No, she's saying that the level of violence increased on your behalf.
I didn't touch the guy.
Never touched him,
Never touched him.
other than putting him in the trunk.
No, I've never touched him.
If Antoinette is insisting that Charles touched the guy, then there is no doubt in our minds that he did. I mean, if she could spill the beans about her boyfriend, someone she loved dearly, what stops her from doing the same for a mere past fling?
When you first get there, it's daylight, right? And you don't leave till dark.
Right, it just got dark when we left.
How long do you think you're there?
I don't know, probably an hour and a half maybe.
So, beer run, and what I would call torture, with putting cigarettes out and people, and cutting their ears off and stuff like this, and, you know, putting the boots to them additionally. This just goes on for an hour.
Yes,
So you leave when it's just getting dark.
yes.
So where do you go from there?
There, but I thought I'd follow the Jeep out, so I guess when I went to Palm Coast, went to Palm Coast, and like I said, I thought I was following the Jeep.
Well, here's the issue. It's the Cadillac is on the cameras about, I think, 11:30, around almost midnight, with the phone records and stuff in the camera. So if you're leaving just before dark or just at dark, you spent a considerable amount of time somewhere else. So where is that?
I don't remember, man. Like I said, the Xanax are making me black out. I mean, I don't remember towards the end of the night.
I get the Xanax part of it. I get it. But I also know you think you got a dead body in the trunk. So I think you're paying a little bit more attention than you would like me to believe, I think. I mean, I get the Xanax thing about how you can have memory loss if you're that trashed. I get it. And I know, based on my contact with you that day, the following day, and with Cheryl, you guys take partying to a whole nother level that I've never been at myself. But you still have a dead body in the trunk. You still help load a body that you think is dead in the trunk. You still set a car on fire with a body in the trunk. So I gotta believe that really burns an impression in your brain, for the lack of a better expression. That you can tell me what's going on a little bit better than you're doing. I mean, some of that stuff you're able to tell me, I think, with a lot of accuracy what happened. But you're leaving big chunks out, and I don't know if it's because you're trying to protect Cheryl or what's going on.
Maybe we stayed at the house longer, I couldn't tell you.
You just off with your time?
Yeah, I was just off the top of my head trying to figure out what, how long if we were there, or, you know what I mean? That's not me looking at a watch. We got there at it was going on sundown, a little bit before the sun started setting, and it was dark when we left, it was right after dark, I thought. I mean, there's no telling how long really we were there. I can't tell you exactly the time frame,
But no conversations before you set the car on fire. Any conversations back? Did you call back to the hammock at all and talk to Cheryl?
I didn't have a phone on me.
Did he call back and talk to Antoinette or anything that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
That's my major problem, is that there was Reed's phone, the one Antoinette used, was communicating with Justin's phone the entire trip when the Cadillac was going. And the Reed's phone was coming from the Cadillac. So, according to what you're telling us, it was you and Scott in the Cadillac at that time.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
either you were talking to whoever's on the other side of Justin's phone, or Scott's talking to the other side of Justin's phone, or someone else is involved is in there with you.
No,
Because the phone calls went back and forth.
Oh, goodness gracious.
It's documented. I don't.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's I want to say it's right around 8-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Okay.
At dark. We have him on video going to the store and probably exactly what he said. So we do have a definitive timeline on their movements.
I was just asking what time the store video would have the girls at the
The
store.
store, and I just don't remember off the top of my head exactly what time they were in. And I think he's off on his timeline. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to explore the possibility that maybe they did leave that early, and it's not the way we think it went down. When you start talking about leaving just before dark, that kind of changed the timeline as we understood it pretty dramatically.
Yeah, like I said, I couldn't tell you exactly what time it was, or, the whole day we stayed busy and drinking.
Do you and Scott, or excuse me, Justin, ever have a conversation after this is over with? Obviously, we've talked to Antoinette. You guys are out in the Mondex. You guys ever get along one-on-one and talk about a strategy if you get interrogated, if you're scooped up? Or
Yeah, we did talk about what we were going to do, try and get ourselves out of it. What can we do?
Right, and what? Tell me what you talk about.
It's just going to taking off, try and get away.
Running.
Yeah, trying to go. We're going to try and sell the Jeep, or trying to just, figure we'd have more time, come up with some money or something, and just take off somewhere.
Right.
Trying to get away.
It's pretty convenient that Charles is claiming to have been suffering from blackout at the exact moment when his whereabouts cannot be accounted for. Where he was and what he did during this time frame is something that would remain a mystery to detectives. Wait and see what Charles reveals next when detectives bring him in for his final round of interrogation.
Justin pulled over and stopped. I stopped the Cadillac. He turned around, went back. I thought we were just going to leave him there. Like I said, I didn't know about the gasoline or nothing like that. So I was actually wiping down the inside of the car, wiping my fingerprints off. And I went back to the Jeep. While I sat in the passenger side, I looked around. Justin was back by the car. I got out, started walking towards him. And he said, well, come on. By that time, they struck the lighter and the car went up on flames.
Jeep and. Let me see another piece of paper. I'm gonna just have them draw the vehicle positioning for me. I know it's a dirt road, but you guys come off that dirt road. Is the how you remember the vehicles being parked and stuff like that.
Well, when we parked on the dirt road,
Right.
Justin was in front, Cadillac was here,
Just put the Jeep in front of it too, please.
Jeep was, well, he pulled over and then he turned around and he was facing back out.
Okay.
I mean, do you want me to draw it
Yeah.
like that?
Originally, you guys stopped like that.
Yes. And then he turned around, faced back out. This is the way we were facing.
Okay.
And then he parked way down here with the Jeep.
Okay.
And like I said, that's when, by the time I wiped down the interior, he was coming back from the Cadillac, and he had a line of fire going from here, halfway to the Cadillac. That's when I just turned around and jumped back in the Jeep. And then there was this amble-looking thing. He told me that he made sure he wasn't breathing. He wasn't going to feel it.
And we mean amble looking
It
thing.
was a piece of metal. I tripped over it twice. Then when I was getting in and out of the Jeep, it was in the passenger side on a floorboard. It was an old anvil-looking piece of metal. As I tripped over getting in the Jeep the last time, I looked down. I was like, what is this? I don't remember it being there. And he said, don't worry, he was dead. He made sure he was dead. He wasn't going to feel it.
How did you see him use that to hit Scott with that?
No, I didn't see him hit him.
You see the trunk go up?
Yeah, he was back by the trunk, yes.
And you saw the trunk go up?
Yes, he was
With
back
Scott
by
standing at the trunk?
Scott wasn't standing.
I'm sorry, JB's at it?
JB was, yes.
Yeah, but the trunk's open, so JB opens that trunk for a reason.
Right.
But you don't see him use this big metal object to hit him?
No, it was about big. No, I don't see him. By that time, I was in the Jeep. I went back to the Jeep.
Okay. Where does the metal thing go after that?
Well, once we got the flat, I tripped over it again, getting out, and I just picked it up and threw it to the long side of the road. So I tripped over it twice, you know what I mean? I just threw it out the passenger door into the ditch.
So it's wherever you change that tire, that's where that metal object's going to be?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that real quick. So when Justin got back into the car, he put the metal object there?
By the time I got back to the Jeep, the metal object was in the floorboard because I tripped over it getting in. I stepped on it, tripped over it getting in. And then when I went to get out, I seen Justin was still back by the car. That's when I went to get out. I tripped over it getting out. I remember tripping over it a couple times. And that's when I walked up to him. He was like, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. So then he struck it and it went up, and that was...
All right, well, give us the details, because obviously he's not carrying the anvil metal thing and the gas can at the same time. So tell us, take us through that slowly, please.
Well, when I was wiping down inside of the car, he was in back and forth. I wasn't really paying attention where he was. But by the time I got done doing that, I walked back to the Jeep itself. I looked back. He was standing by the car. And then I got out, and I said that's when I tripped over that piece of metal. I got out, started walking towards him, and he said, come on, let's go. And that's when he struck the ground with the lighter about halfway, and then the car went up.
Did he have the gas in his hand still then?
No, ma'am.
Did you see him use the gas can on the car?
No, ma'am.
Well, how do you know he used it?
Because I smelled it in the Jeep, and then the gas can was empty.
So you didn't see him use the metal thing, and you didn't see him use
I saw him use I saw him once he did grab the gas when I was coming up off of the car. When I was going into the passenger seat, he grabbed the gas can, started walking towards the car. Sorry.
And was that after he put the metal thing back in?
I couldn't tell you before or after.
Okay.
When
did you see the trunk open?
When I was walking past it. When after I got done with wiping down the steering wheel and everything, I walked past it, walked back to the Jeep. I glanced back, the trunk was open.
Okay, so maybe I'm just not understanding, but what you're saying is you were in the Cadillac wiping down when Justin opened the trunk and did whatever he did in the back.
Right.
How to get the trunk open?
It's been 2 years since Charles first joined detectives in the interrogation room, and a lot has changed. To start with, he's currently being held in a correctional facility where he awaits a court trial for his involvement in Scott's death. The cherry on top, however, is that he signed a plea deal with the state and agreed to provide them with all the gory details without holding back. Warning, it's the stuff of nightmares.
So, Cheryl and Antoinette went to the store. About that time, Justin and I would pick, Scott was moving around, starting to come through a little bit. Justin was yelling at Scott. They were, he was just going off yelling at him.
Well,
why'd you fucking my girlfriend? Why you sleeping with Antoinette and this and that? Why didn't you leave her alone? Like I told you. And so he started sitting up. So me and Justin, we picked him up on one on each side. We brought him to that back and sat him on the stoop next to in front of the door.
Okay.
He was kosher and all that. Well, he got up and walked to the back a little bit and he fell. And then Justin again started kicking him, hitting him.
When you say kicking him, was he kicking and punching him at this point then? You said kicking and hitting him.
He bent down and gave him a couple punches
in the face.
Yeah. Then he mainly started stomping on him.
Did he stomp on his head?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so he's stomping on him. He's stomping him pretty good then, right now.
Yeah, he stomped him pretty good.
Why do you think he got so enraged again? Do you think Scott was trying to leave or something?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Did you try to stop him?
No.
Okay.
No.
Did you tell him to ease up?
Yeah, I did at one point in time. Yeah. Yeah.
And what was it? What was Justin's reaction? You tell him to ease up?
By then the girls were back.
Okay.
And passed out beer, and then Scott was unconscious
again.
Yeah.
Now he's in the back though, laying on the back side of that porch. I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Behind the porch. The girls came back. They started screaming, yelling about how Scott got moved. We told them, we just picked him up and brought him here. I wasn't going to tell them that, Justin was beating the shit out of him again.
Right.
And then we all sat down. I think the girls went inside. Told Cheryl to get Antoinette away from us. She was just aggravating the situation, arguing, fighting with Justin. So it was just time bomb. They were boiling at each other.
Sure.
So that's when I told Cheryl to keep Antoinette away. I figured, maybe I can calm the situation down in time. That's why I went got the beer, calm down. And,
right. Trying to get everybody to chill out.
Yeah.
Sure.
So after a couple beers, Antoinette come out, or after the first beer or so, Antoinette come out and she was just bitching and complaining, screaming on top of her lungs. And then they started telling exactly what happened about Antoinette going over there and about the Xanax.
Going over to Scott's?
Scott's, yes.
Okay, to get some Xanax?
Get Xanax. And then Cheryl said something about they had to stop by, because I asked them what took them so long.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, well, she stopped by Scott's house. And I was like, well, you got Xanax, give me one. What the hell? And she pulled out a package full, handed it out.
So they got that from Scott's house?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
That's what they told me they went and got.
Okay.
So they crushed up a bunch, and we're snorting them inside. Justin and I were talking again outside. They went back inside, and we all went inside for a time. Snorted a couple lines.
You mean all 4 years?
Yes.
So all 4 years at some point are inside Reed's house and Scott's outside.
Scott's outside. Yeah.
Okay.
So we are. I don't know how long. I said time's a little fuzzy.
Well, let me ask you this: it's still daylight, or is it dark now? Is it getting dark?
It's getting dark.
Okay.
It's like twilight.
All right. And what about Scott? Is he still breathing again, or you're not sure?
Yeah, he's still breathing, because he got up again, sat up again, and got up. Come over to the step. He was sitting down. That's when we come out. Justin and I came out. The girls were in there talking.
So he actually got up again and was back on the stoop under his own power?
Yeah, but he'd get up a couple steps and fall.
So he was pretty messed up.
He was punch drunk, yeah.
Okay.
Well, later on I found out he was drinking moonshine. He said, so if I hit to the head or something, wouldn't help him at all.
Right, okay.
But he'd get up a couple steps and fall. Finally got him sitting up straight right in front of the porch, and that's when Justin straddled him. And I had beer, and I tried to hand him to me, let's calm down and shit.
When you say straddle him, from the front or from behind?
Behind.
Okay, so he's sitting behind him with a leg on each side of him. Okay.
Yeah, that's when, so we just sat there talking and shit, and then...
Scott saying anything?
Yeah, he was apologizing.
Okay.
And then Justin was going off, asking him how many times you sleep with her, and asking him questions, and that's when Antoinette come out and started screaming and yelling again.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult to imagine Scott's final moments without feeling a deep aching in your chest. Despite begging for mercy, he was left to wallow in pain while he slowly wasted away. No one, not even Antoinette, who was allegedly screaming for it to stop, thought to call 911 for help. It goes without saying that humanity failed Scott.
Let me back up, man. When we first got there, Justin, after we were all talking over Scott, that's when Justin told Antoinette to kick him or hit him, because we can say that he was hitting her or something like that. They were trying to make an excuse why Scott was knocked out and on the ground bleeding.
I gotcha.
That's where the cigarette burn came in. That's when Justin started hitting him, and that's when all that
When
happened.
you first got there.
When we first got there, yeah.
So who burned him with the cigarette?
Justin did.
And he burned him with a cigarette. Why?
Because Antoinette wouldn't go through with kicking him and hitting him to make it look like she was
a victim of domestic violence or some kind of assault herself.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm sorry.
That's
like
all right.
I said, it's been almost 2 years. So.
I know it's been a while. Yes, it has.
So so after all that, we're sitting in the back, and Antoinette's coming out, and she's frantic, screaming and yelling, saying she never slept with him and this and that, which everyone knows was bullshit.
Right.
So finally, Cheryl come out. I was standing. Cheryl come out. She went back. I got him back in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sat down with Justin, and we were talking. I was like, "Well, what are we going to do?" 'Cause by this time, I'm, shit ain't going right.
Sure.
Everything's stressful. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know how to stop anything.
Right.
I didn't know what to do. So he was like, "Well, I got this." I was like, "Well, man, look at the man. Why the fucking we're going to get in trouble? Attempt to murder at least, man. The dude's fucked up. His whole face was swelled up, swelled shut. Purple as shit."
Mm-hmm.
So I was asking him, what are we going to do? How, what? I was beside myself. I didn't know how to react at that point.
Yeah.
So he's like, "I got this." He's like, "I got this." It's like, all right, whatever. Put faith in him. Let's see what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So after a while, I guess that's when the beer and the alcohol and shit kicked in. He started getting really fucking, just out there. That's when he poured the beer over his head, over to Scott's head, and tried to make him drink a beer. And he had a knife on him, the Scott's knife that he took. I took off of Scott when I first got there.
So you saw a knife on Scott and you took it off
him?
him?
Yeah, I took it off Scott just so it,
And what did you do with it and you took it off him?
I put it in my pocket, and
Okay.
then Justin, when we were sitting there, Justin asked for it, so I gave it to him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he started. He cut off a piece of his earlobe and ate it. And
What the hell were you, let me ask you, what were you thinking when you saw Justin do some shit like that?
Didn't know what the fuck to do. It didn't compute at first. It didn't register what the fuck happened.
Right.
It's all. I was like, man, you can't have just done that.
Right.
Because first he put it in his ear and he cut it, saying he had an earring right there or something like that.
Mhm.
Just cut the earlobe, just to fuck with Scott. I guess hurt him, and then after that he just cut the chunk off and ate the son of a bitch. I mean, what would you do if you saw someone eat someone's ear? Piece of an ear,
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
You,
It would, for sure.
After everything that was happening that night, it messed me up. I didn't know how to. Now after that, I was speechless. I didn't know how to go about do anything then.
Right.
And after that, Justin calmed down a little bit. I forget what the conversation was about that point in time, but at that point in time, it's dark. And then Justin and I would he was like, "Well, I got this. I know where to go. You can put him." And I was like, "All right, whatever." I didn't know what to do, so I just followed along with them. Well, we got the girls back inside. They were calm. They were sitting next to each other. Everyone was fucked up. Xanax were kicking in.
So they were in Antoinette's room in the back of Reed's house.
Okay.
Back,
yeah. So about that time, Justin and I, one time went to the car, Scott's car. I started it up. I opened the trunk up. He was like, "All right, come on." We grabbed the legs. He grabbed the legs. I grabbed his arms.
Was he breathing?
Yeah, he was breathing.
Okay.
We put him in the trunk. By that time, I didn't know where we were going. We didn't discuss nothing. He was just like, "Follow me." I was like, "All right, well, I'll get to the road. You go in front of me."
Miss us with that, you were probably feeling messed up from drinking all that alcohol and doing all those lines.
So backed up, we were talking, and I was like, dude, you know, I was frantic, didn't know what the fuck to do. He goes, all right, come on, man, I got this, come on. So I followed him.
Okay.
And that's where we wound up. We wound up in the middle of the woods.
So how do you, what happens when you get out there on the dirt road?
I followed him out.
You're in the actual Scott's car.
Yes.
So what happens when you get out there on that road,
He stopped. I got out,
He parked in front of you?
yeah, he stopped in front of me.
Okay.
I got out, took my shirt off. I figured we were just gonna leave him there, you know. So I started wiping down the interior. I didn't want my prints on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I grabbed my shirt. Then I seen him come out, and he turned his Jeep around to face out.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time I got done wiping the shit down, I walked back to the Jeep, and I looked back, and that's about the time he was coming back with the gas can. I was like, you know, I didn't know what the fuck. So I sat there. I sat there in the front seat. I got out, started walking back towards him. That's when he lit the gas, and he come running back. I don't know. I think we passed each other or something. Because then when I jumped back in, you know, I was frantic now. Now it's fucking over, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I jumped back in the passenger seat. I kicked the anvil looking thing, you know, and I looked down, I was like, what the fuck is that, you know, I've never seen it before, and he goes, don't worry, he didn't feel nothing. You know,
Did you see him open the trunk out there?
Yeah, he was standing behind it when I first got out and started walking to
So
the Jeep.
he opened up the trunk to check on Scott?
Yeah.
Did you see him hit him with that anvil?
No, I did not. I seen him, he was bent over inside the trunk, and he shut the trunk, and that's when he walked back.
But you don't know if Scott's dead or not?
No.
And when you put him in the trunk, he was alive?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the only basis that you're basing on that Scott was dead after the fire started is the face on Justin saying, don't worry, he didn't feel nothing.
Yeah, he said he hit him with the thing and then crushed his head in. You know, said he jammed it halfway through his skull.
Okay, so that's what he said to you?
Yeah, he said, don't worry, he ain't gonna feel it, he's dead. I hit him.
Well, be careful. Think now. What exactly did he say?
He said we looked at each other when I kicked him and asked him about it. He said, and I looked back and the car was aflame. We were talking about it. He said, no, I used that. I put it halfway through his skull.
Okay.
I caved in his head. He's dead. He ain't gonna feel nothing.
Okay.
That's the fire. You know?
So after you leave, what happens?
When we leave, we hit the roads. Like I said, I was in a daze, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't talking. I mean, I don't remember much of a conversation by that time. I remember I told him there's no way in hell we're going to get away with it. You know, I remember saying that. You know, it was stupid shit.
The fact that Charles was able to drive Scott's car all the way to a deserted area, despite knowing he was alive in the trunk, speaks volumes about him. Charles may not have delivered the final blow, but he was a murderer regardless.
Any conversation that you were witness to with Antoinette and Justin about what happened or what didn't happen, or you think Antoinette's aware of what happened?
Yeah.
Because Antoinette's description is you watching you and Justin walk him out of the yard. He didn't walk out of that yard on his own power.
No.
And you know, Antoinette's also described you as being the one that primarily stomps and does all that
sure.
stuff to Scott. And do you ever put a hand on him,
No, I did
other than
not.
to carry him out of the yard?
No, I did not.
Okay. Cheryl or anybody else hit him?
No.
Okay.
No, neither of the girls hit him. They
Right.
they didn't.
Never any conversation about getting him any help? Not even from the girls when this is going on?
At first, when we first got there, yeah, that's when they were talking about Antoinette hitting. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Thinking back now, right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they were talking about Justin hitting Antoinette and Antoinette hitting, you know what I mean, Scott or something like that, just to make her look like the victim and
Right.
a righteous, you know.
Okay,
And
yeah.
they can call the police or the ambulance. Or
So the
whatever.
plan wasn't just to call and get him help. The plan was to try to make it look like Antoinette was the victim of some kind of assault
Right.
from Scott, and then
Scott,
Justin just
being
intervened.
a hero, yeah.
And Justin being a hero.
Right.
Welp, he just went from attempting to appear as a hero to being a disgraced citizen. As for Charles, there seems to be a lot he's still refusing to let on, but at this point, the detectives conclude their interrogation and leave his fate in the judge's hands. On the evening of June 13, 2013, Charles Massey stood by and watched as Justin Boyles kicked, punched, and stomped on Scott Mulliner. He had the power to stop the situation from escalating, yet he did nothing. After roughly 3 years of investigation and several rounds of interrogation, detectives concluded that Charles acted of his own free will and helped Justin dispose of Scott's body before burning all the evidence to cover their tracks. Charles was charged with first-degree homicide and kidnapping for the role he played in Scott's death. He, however, entered into a plea deal with the state's attorney in October of 2014 and agreed to testify against Justin in court. This deal saw his charges reduced from first degree to second degree, a decision that was strongly opposed by Scott's family. Scott's brother, Drew Mulliner, who testified during Charles's trial, shared how affected the family was by the state's decision to reduce Charles's sentence. To him, it was ironic that the state was willing to show him mercy when he did the opposite for his brother. On January 6, 2015, Charles Danny Massey was sentenced to 20 years in prison by the St. Johns County Judge, Michael Traynor. He is currently incarcerated at the Santa Rosa Work Camp in Milton and is scheduled to be released in 2032. It's been more than a decade since Scott Mulliner left this world for a better place. Although they say time heals all wounds, this type of scarring can never be erased. Even though Scott's family will never get him back, there's comfort knowing that the monsters that did this to him got the punishment they deserve. Thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out one of the craziest cases I've ever covered right here.